Ice cream flavor, logical cream, flavors. Let's make a move, get away, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. What you like, get it twice, what's your style? Let's get crazy, let's get lit, let's get wild. Take you out, show you off, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. Anywhere in the world, take you miles. Show me the real, you go and let it out.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Connie. We're here on 95 South TV. Once again, first and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be on here, to come on this great platform, and to do, what I'm saying, always having great guests, great conversation. I got my right hand man, as you can see, Mr. Cowboy Lover himself, Mr. Baby, your baby mama favorite host, my man Jacob the Great. What's going on, fam?
Man, what up? What up, man? On this good Saturday, glad to be in the land of the living, man.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, listen. So, I got a topic we're gonna talk about, get into. Of course, I'm gonna ask you what yours are, but I got one I wanted to go ahead and discuss. So, as you can see, let me see if I can edit that thing real quick. But I wanted to talk about the um, old generation versus the new generation, and what I mean by that is I watch. You're on TikTok and you're on Instagram and you see different stuff. And something that's happened on Instagram that bothered me the other day. I see
mhm.
this young lady, she was interviewing another young lady. And she basically asked her, if we gave you $5,000, would you save your dad or your boyfriend? And she said, I would save my boyfriend. Basically, she said, because I can't have a baby with my dad. I can't be toxic with my dad. I can't There's certain things she was just naming about things she couldn't do with her dad. And I thought to myself, I said, what kind of generation are we in when a young lady, and she didn't say, now she would have, if she would have said something like, oh, my dad ain't been in my life all these years. I don't care about him. I don't know him, whatever. But that's what she said. She just based it off of things that she could do with her boyfriend on the relationship side and the intimacy side that she couldn't do with her dad. And I'm like, so you're basing your relationship off of whether you would save your dad off your boyfriend. Boyfriends are gonna leave tomorrow. You and your boyfriend, like you said, you can't be toxic with your boyfriend, so your boyfriend could leave you tomorrow. Your dad is gonna be there forever. If you got a real dad, your dad is gonna be there forever. You know what I'm saying? Your dad is gonna be there to ride with you. He gonna be the one to go knock somebody's head off for you. He gonna be the one to give you money when you broke. Your dad is gonna be doing those things for you. So when I heard this from this young lady, it really bothered me. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on all that?
I'm gonna tell you like I tell most parents, man. The new generation don't give two damns about their parents. They care about what they can get. They care about how a parent can get them out of rut they in, and then after you get them out that hole they're in, they're back doing the same shit. Like they're not like we are.
Yeah,
We actually care about our parents. You know what I
yeah,
mean? We care about our parents' well being.
uh-huh,
Their mind, if it don't affect me, then it ain't got nothing to do with me.
yeah,
But anything, uh, uh, anybody got any type of common sense, logical thinking to save a raggedy ass boyfriend before you would save your father that's been there with you your whole life, been with you ever since you came out the womb, you got to be the most absent-minded person on earth to even say
yeah,
something like that.
mm-hmm,
But
yeah,
how come
yeah,
this is this is your children's generation, bro?
yeah,
And then let me say this: most of the young women that's in your children's age group that date men, they only they are only attracted to toxic men, toxic young men. They're not
mm-hmm,
top and tied to somebody going to school, studying to be a lawyer, studying to be a doctor, or somebody just got a 9 to 5, do what they supposed to do, saving their money to buy a house. They'll talk somebody that's gonna call them out their name, arguing with them, that's gonna put their hands on them. And then when that person put their hand, they try their best to hide it from their parents. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then these dudes will come to their parents' house and just blow the horn and want to be out introduce themselves. And
Yeah.
so that's the type of people that these young women want to be with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I encountered that a couple of times. My daughter went out with this guy one time, and I might have told this story before, but he came to the house, ex boyfriend of hers, and and we was having, I think we was having a cookout at the time, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm about to leave. My boyfriend is out there," and I said, he got to come around here and introduce himself. What you mean?" So he came around and I said, yeah, I said, first of all, when you come to my house, my daughter know better. When you come to my house, you come in the house and you speak. I said that's the way my daughter was raised, and that's the way I was raised. When I would go, when I was back in the day, when I would go to a young lady's house and whatever, I don't care what the circumstances was, I don't care where she stayed, who she stayed with, whatever. I'm gonna go in the house. Hey, how you doing? My name's Eddie. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I came to take your daughter out, and if whatever question they ask me, I answer 'em. Who your mama is? Who your daddy is? Who did that about this, that, and the third? Do you work? Do you blah blah blah? Whatever it is they gonna ask me, I was confident in answering them questions. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You know that your daughter gonna be in safe hands because I was man enough to come to your door and talk to you or whatever. I don't know what these young men who raised these guys, like DK Kirkland said. I don't know who raised y'all. But I'm telling y'all, any young man that ever listened to this conversation, when you go take a young lady out, you go to the door and you go knock on it. You say, I don't care what the girl say. If she said, no, 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 we can just go. No, if you want me to take you out, I need to go in there. I can see we grown. We grown. That's different. That when you grown, then of course, the girl dictate when you meet her parents and all that kind of stuff. But when you young, like especially if you young, stay in the parents' house. Like if you old, like if I meet you at your house, when I meet your parents, that's on you. That's a whole different situation. But if you staying in the house with your mom and your dad, and I gotta pick you up from their house, I gotta go meet somebody. Grandma, auntie, mommy, whoever at the house, somebody got to be met before we walk out this door. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But like I said, I don't get this whole disrespect for parents. I don't get this. Now I say this, Jacob. You know me. I get some of the frustration from the young people when they feel like the older people are coming at them wrong or sideways. I get that part. They sometimes they feel like the older people don't respect them enough. But at the end of the day, you have to carry yourself in a respectful manner if you want to be respected. And I think that's what the young people are starting to forget. You know what I'm saying? Even I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she was saying like, because they smoke weed and all this. He said I had to learn that when I do smoke my weed, I have to do it in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are get. I used to do Uber. The young people get in your car, smell like a pound. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Or they'll smoke in stores, or they'll smoke outside in public parking lots. And it's like if you're gonna like back in the day when I smoked in the '90s, that's the last time I really smoked on a regular. Back when I smoked in the '90s, we smoked it either basically, what I'm saying? We're gonna be somewhere off somewhere. We're gonna be somewhere where it's gonna be at one of my homeboys' cribs where it's just them, or we gonna be somewhere, in the cut
Oh,
somewhere where ain't nobody around,
right.
nobody can see it, smell it, whatever the case may be. But we not gonna be getting nobody car high. We ain't gonna be going to your mama and your grandma house hot getting high. You know what I'm saying? We not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? But these kids nowadays they just kind of just a free for all, and that's why we have the situation we have in society today. But anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and discuss this matter and more other topics right here on 95 South. Be right back. All right, we back. We back. 95 South TV. You know what I'm saying? We got a big announcement at the end of the episode. But Jacob, you got a topic you want to get into? Because I got another one I just thought about.
The original Family Business versus Family Business New Orleans.
The original family business Okay, so you going a whole different direction. Okay, I see what you're doing over here. Um, okay.
The
So what's the
Duncan,
question?
the prestigious Duncan family.
Okay.
Um, the, my question is, when you first start watching the Family Business,
Mm-hmm.
you was it kept you on the edge of your seat, right? and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and it still do. But
Yeah.
New Orleans got a different twist to it because
Mm-hmm.
not only is it got the drug game, the street culture, but it's got the gambling game too. So
Mm-hmm.
it brings a different twist to it. And David
Yeah.
Banner on Family Business New Orleans even brings an even a crazier twist. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And so
Uh,
my question my question you from a from a person that watches both of them,
mm-hmm.
um, do you think that LC is going to end up coming to New Orleans because Larry's there?
Um. Uh. um, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think that he may make an appearance. I don't know if it's going to be more than maybe one episode, but I think at some point he may make an appearance to. You mean to help Larry or to have to go against Larry?
Not to go against Larry, but they are there helping their sister and their nephew. And so with that being said, I know that head honcho in New Orleans married into their family, but their loyalty is still to have her back. You know what I mean? Because she is their their brother's
Um.
wife, whatnot, and that bloodline with with her son is still what I'm saying Duncan bloodline. Because
Yeah.
in the way David Banner set Obo up to land him in jail, but he got the crazy dude with all the money that's a stalker. You know what I mean? This is gonna get real interesting on New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say this. I read, so you know that I read I listened to the audio book of the Family Business, the first Family Business, and
Hmm.
I probably listened to that audio book maybe 3 or 4 times. That's how good it was. It had
Hmm.
5 parts to it, and I read them all in or whatever. And so I would say this: I almost want to go and order the audio book of Family Business New Orleans because it's a book for that one too, and to actually listen to the audible of that to get because the thing about the book gives you the real story. Now, I will say this about reading, I read The Family Business, like I said, the audio. The first season, and maybe first season and a half, or maybe two, it was pretty much spot on with the book. It went verbatim by the book. Then, of course, now they've gotten past what the book was doing, and they starting to add different elements and stuff to it that wasn't part of the book.
Hmm.
So basically, New Orleans, I would want to read the book on New Orleans to see what kind of transpired through that. Because if you go to Audible, they have like Family Business, I think New Orleans, Family Business. I think they got like 5 different versions of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's like 5 different cities and states, and I think it's like a Family Business Miami or something like that. So it just depends because this thing may go stretch further than just these two series. You know what I'm saying? So it may keep going on and on and on or whatever. Because you got to think that a lot of this kind of I ain't gonna say originated, or you could say that it originated because they're in New York, and you know what I'm saying they in a little bit in Georgia, and because you have to go back to the beginning too, because you know like the last season they started kind of diving a little bit to how what's the name LC and what's the wife name? Drawing a blank.
Um,
L, LC and the wife. What's the wife
um,
name?
what I forget her name, man. But go
Yeah,
go, go ahead.
LC. I was on the top of my tongue, but I can't remember. But
Is it
LC and the
Chippy?
wife,
Is it
Chippy,
Chippy?
Chippy, LC and
Yeah.
Chippy. It has the first version of the book where it shows like how they first met with LC, Chippy, the mom, the other mom, the brothers, all of that. Because, you know what I'm saying, LC was basically like going a whole different direction. His brothers, he wasn't even in trying to be in the drug gang or whatever. So if you guys, it's very interesting if you understood. And the one brother was basically autistic. So the brother that died, who had the baby with the woman, with the one, with boss lady, Miss, what's her name? Boss lady, what's her name? Not boss lady. What's her name? Whatever her name is on New Orleans,
You
or
talking about
whatever.
Levi? You talking about Levi?
Yeah, yeah. So he was autistic basically. You know what I'm saying? They had a baby with her. So you know what I'm saying. You have to really understand the origin of the story to really understand what's going on right now in New Orleans or whatever. So she fell in love with the other brother, and I'm trying to remember in my head how he died, but he died in the book. In the book, he died the one whatever. That's why they never showed him because he died early on or whatever. But it's a lot. It's a lot to the story that they really haven't even got to yet. You know what I'm saying? Like cause the last season of the regular one, they just got into about the gay brother finding out he had a twin. So it was a third child that was in the loop that was taken by the nurse. So that's why it's a third child that Chippy and them didn't even know it was a third child because she didn't know she was pregnant with another child in her body. How you don't know? Maybe that's something that could really happen back in those days. I don't know if
That's
that's
weird.
something that's realistic.
That's,
Huh?
that's weird. That's weird.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Have I ever heard that really happen in real life? I would have to ask questions to women, but I want to say I've heard a story like that before, or I've even heard of people having twins and didn't know they was having twins. I've heard that before. Like the baby coming, and they be like, "Oh, it's two of them," and they be like, "They didn't the whole time they didn't know."
And
Maybe not
and
now. They probably couldn't happen now.
just to say this, I was talking to Junior, his
Mm.
wife on
Okay.
Twitter, um,
Okay. The one that
and
plays his wife.
yeah, she was like, just sit back with me about a month or so, So I'm
Okay.
trying to get her to come on. So
Yeah.
that's interesting, and the reason why I want to talk about this, I had set up, maybe you didn't see my post. you know, um, it was going to be about the family business versus the original versus family business New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I know when I posted on TikTok, people really thought that was interesting. You know what I mean? That was like,
Yeah.
you don't really see people saying like that. Just like my thoughts, my level of thinking, because I've been watching, just going back digging into a lot of TV
Mhm.
series and a lot of films, and so I feel like breaking films down is like a different type of conversation. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, man, I think that that Junior
Hmm.
is a little off in his mind. I think he's going to left field, and I think that's going to really pose a major problem when Larry understands, cause Junior gonna mess up the business, bro. Junior
Yeah.
gonna mess up the flow because he was a pivotal factor when the son was locked up for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
running a lot of things, and so do you think that they can overcome that obstacle? Um, with Junior, not wanting to be involved with the family no more because he know too much about the business, man. Like, so what you think really gonna happen?
I think in the end, he gonna realize that those other people gonna turn on him, and he gonna need he and his family gonna have his back. I think it's gonna get too overwhelming for him and too big for him, and he gonna have to reach back out to, either he have to reach back or they just automatically gonna step up in Nevada and I mean Vegas and The rest of the family gonna step up and help him out. I don't think they're
Okay.
gonna leave him out there to dry. You know what I mean? They know he hurting or whatever the case may be. But Junior not really built to run a franchise like that. He working off of emotion right now. And he gonna realize what his mama about. You know what I'm saying? His mama trifling. He gonna realize his mama
Oh
trifling.
boy, man, trifling, man, boy, she'll she'll come go to slut. Man, look at here.
Yeah, yeah. So
Man,
he
look
gonna
here.
realize
She
about
look,
his mama.
boy, boy, his mama so trifling, and then the lady that met his mama, and she want. Now this is what's interesting to me. Now, 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 Lisa Ray, Tippy your sister, but this outside lady come in, can't stand Chippy, and she said that she know that you want the same thing that she want is to take Chippy down and get rid of Chippy. Now, if somebody came and told me that regarding one of my brothers, it ain't gonna end up good for them, bro. I don't
No.
care what I don't care what me you know if the situation was like that, I don't care what you and your brother go through, or you and your sister go through. No outside source can kind of just say what they want to say about your sibling and y'all got the same bloodline. That's crazy to me.
Well, when we come back from break, I'm gonna tell you why I say Junior is wrong in this regard. We'll be right back here on 95 South TV. No, don't go nowhere. Well, we back here on 95 South TV. I'm gonna tell you why Junior is wrong. Because it's one thing for your mom and your dad to lie to you, or basically your dad and basically like she really your auntie or whatever that you've been calling mom and Chippy. It's one thing for them to lie to you, whatever. But your brothers and sisters don't have nothing to do with it. They said they didn't know. They didn't. If they didn't know, they didn't know. Even if I think the only one that said he knew was Vegas or whatever said he knew,
Right,
but it wasn't
right,
his job to tell him that. It was the mom and dad to tell that story, not the brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they still your brother and your sister because they still come from your dad. So it's not like they still not family. The only person that's not your mama is Chippy, but everybody else is still in their rightful place. You know what I'm saying? For the most, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing. Because I almost was confused for a second, and I thought about. I said, hold on, everybody's still his brother. Everybody's still his sister. So only person that he thought was his cousin that was his sister was the one that got killed. You know what I'm saying? The other snipe, the one killer cousin that got murdered. That's the
right.
only one that's actually his sister, not his cousin. But everybody else is still your sister and your brothers. So stall them out. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing to do with it. So, but I'm gonna tell you why I feel like, to me, I'm not gonna say New Orleans is better, but it's more intriguing to me
He's got a better
because,
storyline.
well, because of that and because of the characters. Because you got to think about it. What's my man name? The one that played in Big Mama's house.
You're talking
He
about
pretty
Brandon
Brandon
T.
T.
Jackson,
Jackson.
right? Right.
Brandon T. Jackson pretty much was pretty much out of the business. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was by his own doing, blackballed, whatever you want to call it. He started calling out Hollywood on certain things that he's seen and been through, and you would have never thought he would have been back in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? If you see him 3 or 4 years ago, he was looking like a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? And for him to pop up in this, I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Then you see
I just
somebody.
want I just want to know who his agent is, because you're right. I seen the interview, bro, where he couldn't get a job if somebody told him a job, they would not
Mhm,
hire him.
exactly. And then you got David Banner. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this is interesting because you see David Banner stuff here and there, but for him to be a main character, holding it down, doing a great job with the role or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got Lily Rashawn has been around forever. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
doing her thing. So it's just, to me, it's just a good
yeah, yeah. I
cast
mean,
of characters they put together.
the what I remember from Lily was saying is Eddie Murphy said that she had hammer time in the shoe
Yeah, we always remember that.
on Boomerang, and then I
Uh,
remember I remember when she was dating the dude and she kicked him out and he
mhm.
cussed her out on Waiting His Hell. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So,
yeah. That's the
so,
two roles
but,
you always remember from.
but
Yeah.
what I feel about the original family business, man, hey man, they got people in the original family business just older than Moses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Man,
if you look
I
at
say, I said myself, boy, I thought Larry was gonna start studying like he was about to call the tax on Harlem Nights.
you stupid. And you know what's crazy? I was kind of mad they got rid of Clifton Powell so quick. When I see Clifton Powell the first episode, I said, "Yep, it's definitely a black show. They got Clifton Powell in it." I was like, "Dang, I'm surprised." I told somebody, I said, "When you ever watch the show The Black Hamptons?" And I said, this ain't a true black show until they get Clifton Powell a role. I said until they get him a role, because to be honest with you, the dad on the Black Hamptons, this arguing back and this beefing with his wife. I said, shoot, that would have been. I seen Clifton Powell more in that role than I seen him.
Right, right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
I can't remember the guy who's his real name in real life with it, but he been around forever too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
right.
You know, it's funny you talk about people being old. I was watching uh the family that prays, and they got Kathy Bates in it. And my daughter India said, Dad, he said, no, I think it might have been Tay. Tay said, yeah, she old as hell too. She been around a long time. I said, yeah, she about 135. Cause Kathy Bates been around for a long time. I remember Kathy Bates. Matter of fact, wasn't Kathy Bates in Misery?
Yeah, I
Wasn't that
believe
her in
so.
Misery? I remember her baby from Misery when she cut the dude's foot off. Whatever, or locked his foot, or cut his feet off, and took him hostage in the house.
Hey
I said,
man,
Kathy Bates been around a
hey, hey,
long
hey,
time.
hey, man, you, you know you'll kill somebody off though, boy. I'm trying to
It,
tell you,
hey,
boy.
hey, she about 135 years old playing Madlock. She probably can die playing that role. You know,
Man,
that
man,
doesn't go
man,
on.
man, look, man, she been around a long time, boy.
A long
You
time.
you you
Yep.
you you, you know you talking about you being Matlock daughter, and y'all probably went to high school together.
Yeah, come on, big man like daughter. Big man like daughter. Shoot, you big man like wife. You just lasted a long time. You was his sister. You was big sister. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
And
but
man, and, and and I think, man, that like I just can't get over the way Larry laughed. Man,
oh
just
yeah, that laughy. That's what
yeah,
makes his character so good, though. That laugh, he do that. I'm gonna tell you like this. He got the kind of laugh that it could be one of them legendary laughs of all time. The
yeah.
well, I can't even get it out right now. I can't even do it right, but how he do it. But that laugh be killing me. That's the most diabolical part of his whole character. That laugh. You know what I'm saying?
But
When he
but
do
you
that laugh, boy, you know he up to something. You know
but
what
you
I'm
know
saying? So,
who the most vicious one on there to me?
oh,
Larry's son Curtis. Man, play with Curtis if you want to.
Larry's son. Oh yeah, and that's the crazy part. That's his real son.
In real life?
Yeah, yeah. You said Larry's son. Oh, you talking about Curtis. I'm thinking about the other son. My bad. The young son, the one that's with him. That's his
No,
real
no, no,
son.
no, no, no. Oh, the one that's with him. Okay.
The one that's
Well,
always with him. Yeah, that's the one that's always with
well, well,
Larry.
well,
That's the
well,
real. That's the
Curtis.
son in real life.
Curtis. Curtis may look like Carl Thomas, but Curtis is an animal, boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Curtis a beast. I'm trying to think who I like the best as far as being diabolical on there, whatever, other than Larry. Um, I mean, what's the name? What's the name?
Who, who,
Dwayne.
who Vegas?
Not Vegas. The other one. The other son. The son with the one that played in that played in like Soul Food and all that.
Yeah. I knew you talking about. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I his
him. I,
name.
I like. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now because all of them got like city and state names and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but yeah, I like him. He's probably my favorite because he's just so smooth with it, and how he always got that toothpick in his mouth. I don't know why
But
people who got
but but man, the doctor chick that he cut off, that
yeah
Larry manipulated. that they let manipulate. Boy, she bad.
Mm. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, definitely,
She
definitely.
wretched. She wretched like Fred.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
But you know the daughter though. The daughter, I knew she was a good actor because I hated her from the rip. Like the
Yeah.
first episode, I ain't like her. I'm like, oh no, I don't like her already. You know what I'm saying? So I knew she was a good actor because I ain't like her from the jump. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back because I want to get into another quick topic here. We'll be right back. Okay, we back here on 95 South TV. I want to get into something, Jacob. I want to talk about this whole thing that I've been seeing on the internet lately. And this is what I knew this was gonna happen with Trump. So I don't all the policy stuff, it is what it is. That's every president, governor, mayor, councilman, whatever gonna have their own policies, how they want to do stuff. But the hatred that he puts into the world is what's killing America. And now you see when he came with that whole they came with that whole thing they're gonna try to segregate America again. And now you see all this stuff happening in different stores and Walmarts and you know, I don't know, Costco's or Target or whatever it is, where certain white folks feel like they could talk to certain black folks for what I'll call crazy. Like I seen it the other day where this guy was buying I heard this guy was buying groceries out of what was it? I think it was a Trader Joe's or whatever. Was it
Uh-huh.
Trader Joe's? It was somewhere. It was one. It was some store, but he bought some stuff. He bought like $200 worth of stuff, and they tried to accuse him of stealing. And they was asking for his receipt. Might have been in the Walmart or Kroger or whatever it was, but they was asking for his receipt, and then he was like, "Oh, so y'all gonna just say that I stole something, huh?" And then he was basically trying. And then so I guess the first it was security, then they went and got management. Then they told him never to come back there no more, and this that and the third. And I'm just like, we got to the point in the minute. And the thing about it, well, I think the guard was really like a Mexican guy who tried to say this black guy was stealing whatever. And then when he pulled out his receipt, he said, you know, basically, I'm about to sue this whole
Hey,
place.
bro.
And you know what I mean?
Bro. Don't get me started on taco salad.
You don't get started on what?
Taco salad.
He said
Like
tacos.
every time they say something about black people, I'm like, what? You
This
said that?
nigga said
Man,
taco
man,
salad.
man,
Hold on,
man,
bro.
look here, man, look here, man. You
You
can
better get put on Facebook.
you can take your enchiladas and whatever you want to do and just take your ass back to where you came from, man. Like get out of here, bro. Like 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 you've been on this motherfucker 170 years and still ain't got no green card. You get your ass out my face.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I've gotten in more arguments with Mexican people than I've had with any other race over something stupid. When I last year when I was doing freight work, I got into it with a guy in the warehouse because he refused to remove the stuff off my truck, saying I had to do it, and I told him I had to get authorization, and we got to this big thing where we almost got into the fight in the warehouse. You know what I'm saying? Because I got so mad, I just told him "f you" and walked off, and he like what? You know what I'm saying? And whatever, and then we got into it from there, whatever. We ended up getting it squashed, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? So
what killed me about them, bro? They really think they can say what they want to say to you, and man, you if you really want to go there, like man, stop that shit, man. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with nobody coming to America trying to make a better life for their family, man. But when you when you try to act like you better than black people, well, that's a whole different level.
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, but it just in general, man. Like, I wish we had a girl on here. We had that one time, and we was talking about customer service. Because I'm gonna tell you what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. So I'm in a Love's gas station, and it's a McDonald's in there. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh.
But to get a double fish sandwich. Yeah, yeah, don't judge me. I know I'm supposed to be eating no double fish sandwich. I know that's bad for your health, blah, blah, blah. If y'all, whatever. So I wanted to get me a double fish sandwich. So I went up to the counter. I said, "Look, I want a double fish sandwich, no cheese, because they said fish sandwich at McDonald's come with cheese. I don't know why they think cheese belong on a fish sandwich, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day." So I said, "Double fish sandwich, no cheese." They make the
Okay.
fish sandwich. First of all, it take a minute for them to make. It take a few minutes to make it. I get the fish sandwich, go to the car. It's a single fish sandwich with cheese. Exactly what I didn't want. So I walked back in there and I said, "Can I said, look, y'all gave me the wrong order." So the girl behind the corner counter was arguing with the guy that was made the sandwich. Said, you made the wrong sandwich." He said, "No, you gave out the wrong sandwich." And I believe it was really the girl's fault because I think she gave my sandwich to somebody else. So then they was like, all right. So they was like, okay, we just make you another sandwich. So I'm sitting there waiting on my sandwich to be made. So I see the managers walking back and forth, going to the front, back, whatever. He like he might have been kind of young, maybe late 20s, early 30s, whatever. I'm just gonna ask him. I said, "Man, can I get like a cookie or something for my inconvenience?" So he like, "What's your inconvenience?" I said, "They made my sandwich wrong." He said, "Well, I can't give you a cookie, but I can give you a fry." So I said, "I don't really want a fry." He said, "Well, I can give you a drink." I said, "I don't want a drink." He was, "Sir, all thing I can give you is a fry." I said, "All right, whatever, give me the fry." So then I thought about that thing for a second. I said, first of all, first of all, he was too nonchalant and he didn't even apologize for the inconvenience. Secondly, I said, "Sir, you could have gave me whatever you wanted to give me. You could have gave me a cookie." I said, "I've been in the restaurant business for a long. I was in restaurant business for 20 years. I've managed a lot of different restaurants. So you could have gave me whatever you wanted to get." And he was like, "No, I couldn't have gave you a cookie." Yes, you could have. You could have gave me a cookie if you really wanted to give me a cookie. I'm just letting you know that. You know what I'm saying? So he like, whatever, whatever. He's like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, nah, I'm just telling you what I know. He said, well, the reason why I didn't give you a cookie because we was out of it. Well, why you ain't just say that? So you just sit here and lied to me about a cookie when you could have just said that instead of lying about it and trying to force me to get something I didn't want, really. So then by the time that happens, the girl walks to me with my fish sandwich. He gonna say, well, do you still want the fry, don't you? You ain't even dropped the fries yet. So now I gotta wait an extra 5 minutes to get the fry after I waited extra 5 minutes for the fish sandwich. So you want me to wait another 5 minutes for the fry? No, I don't want the fry. I said if you would have just gave me what I asked you, or when I lied about it, we could have been done with this conversation. But you tried to lie your way out of it. I said and tried to BS me when I know exactly what you could or couldn't do. I said, you ain't talking to somebody that don't know what's going on. And it was a subway right there. I told the two ladies in the subway, I said, you know, he could have gave me a cookie, whatever. Like you trying to BS me over this when you could have just gave me that cookie. Whatever you could have gave me whatever you wanted to give me. So I
Right.
was telling people like this, they're like, man, you bad over a cook. I said, that ain't it's the principle. That's not the point. But my biggest point about this whole thing is, and I was in a truck stop a week before that at a Chick-fil-A at a not a truck stop, a service plaza. I ordered a Chick-fil-A meal. The girl at the counter, not even the manager, when she gave me my food, the food was they was kind of slow with it. You know, Chick-fil-A really ain't really slow most of the time. They was slow with it. She said, "Sir, I put your cookie in the bag for your inconvenience." I didn't ask for it. I wasn't even tripping that day. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if the employee understood what's going on, as a manager, you're supposed to get, or if nothing else, at least come over there and apologize
Uh-huh.
for the inconvenience. So my thing
Right.
about the whole thing in the world now is this lack of respect, whether it's the young youth that we talked about earlier, or if it's in these restaurants where they don't understand their job title, and the management is poor, is piss poor because they don't show the example to the employees, to from the management to the employees. Because my
Listen,
thing
man.
about my go ahead.
Man, um, fast food right now, you know, should be called Big Slow, cause they big slow, boy.
Yeah,
Boy,
big
listen,
boy.
boy, but they slower than molasses, boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they act like it's your fault that they're slow.
Yep. Yep. They people in these restaurants, clothing stores, gas stations. They sometimes some of them act like you inconveniencing them when you make them do their job. How am I inconveniencing you? This is your job. If I ask you a
Right.
question, you should be more than happy to help me, because if it wasn't for me coming into this establishment, you wouldn't be able to get a check. So when I go into a restaurant and I'm paying my money, that's see, this is what young people got to understand. When you're paying your money, that's a sense of entitlement that you're supposed to have. That's what entitlement looks like. When you're using your money to pay for a product and pay for a service, that's when you should have a
Right.
sense of entitlement. Now, did you got to disrespect anybody? No. As a customer, I have a job to respect you, and you have a job to respect me. But do I require certain things as a service from you to me when I'm paying my money? Yes, that's what entitlement looks like.
I
Not just
just
not. I mean,
man, I turn it is. When you pay your money, you're paying for somebody to render you a service, and the service is supposed to be A1. It does.
yeah,
You, you, you,
exactly.
you, you-
That's when you're supposed to require. I shouldn't even have to ask for something when I'm paying my money. So young people need to understand what entitlement is. Entitlement is not just somebody giving you something just to give it to you. Entitlement
right,
is if you pay for something that you're supposed to get, whether it's you getting your car fixed, whether you in a hospital, whether you at a restaurant, a grocery store, wherever you at, you have a sense of that's when you paying your money, you deserve you ask for a sense of entitlement to get a service. But like I said, you don't have the right to disrespect for somebody to give you a service. But you should require it, and it should be automatically there. You know what I'm saying? If you ever worked in customer service, you understand. That's why they put you in training. They don't train you just to run a register. They don't train you just to stand in there and look at the folks. They train you to understand what customer service is to somebody to give them the best experience so they want to keep coming back. I'm the type of
right,
person, ever since I was a teenager, ever since I was making my own money, I tip good. So you give me a great service, I'm tipping you good. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I would even tip if I was a millionaire. Some of these folks probably be so blessed off of me tipping, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever, because I don't mind tipping for great service. I tip my barbers. I tip somebody if they washing my car. You know what I'm saying. I even tip the people at the you know what I'm saying, when you order food in the go area. I tip those folks. And a lot of people
Right.
don't tip the go folks. You know what I'm
No, they
saying?
don't.
You ain't even required to tip the people when you order from the go. I tip those folks. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just the way I am. But anyway, we're gonna take a break, come right back, and end this thing. For I'm about to go a whole nother level with this thing.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
about
yeah,
to, about to,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be
So
right.
we're gonna finish talking about Donald Trump when we get back.
Yeah, so we back. So before we end this
So
thing up, we'll go
so
ahead.
before we end the thing, I just want to know one thing: who is the president? Donald Trump or Elon Onions?
Well, first of all, there's no. I don't think there's really a president. We can't even call it that right now. We have to call it an overseer. We have to call it a dictatorship. We have to call it something else. I don't know. No dictatorship. Yeah, I don't even. No, a dictatorship is when we all have a voice, so we can call it that. I think that's what dictatorship. I think I'm using that word correctly. So I don't even think we call it that.
Man,
And
this
they
is
all
the
scared of this man. Every dad's person is scared of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They all of them. Well, I just a dude on TikTok. He don't call him Donald Trump. He call him Wig. Yeah, every time I hear the dude talk, he be happy laughing. He call him Wig. So so you know what I mean. But whatever you want to call him, I just but I did the point, Jacob. I'm just laughing at the whole thing because I'm like the only thing that scares me now. I ain't gonna say scares me, but because I always like prayed as soon as I got on the plane, but I'm a little bit more wearier than I used to be as you keep seeing these planes like it was another plane crash in Florida yesterday. And it's not
yeah.
even now at this point, it's not even the big planes, it's these little small, single engine planes or whatever you want to
Man,
call them.
I can when did so many helicopters start crashing? And they're crashing into buildings in a major city, not buildings. I'm talking about like office buildings.
Yeah.
Helicopters.
But bruh, you know it's bad when the chief of IRS quit. You know that's one of them jobs you don't never quit. You don't quit no. That's the type of job you don't quit. You retire at that. That's something you work 30, 40 years to probably get. You probably took them 20 years to even get in the position. And
That
then he
man
quit,
resigned.
resigned. Like, come on, bro. Something ain't right. Something going on somewhere when you the chief of the IRS and you quit. You know how many I'm glad that like most people probably got their taxes this year. But I'm telling you like this. And what's the date? The day is April the 12th, 2025. Remember, I said this, Jacob. This time next year, probably I would say February, March next year. If they don't fix this, watch how many people don't get their taxes next year. Watch
Man,
how the taxes be
I
back
tell
up.
him, fix what you mean, fix it. He said that he got a plan to do away with the IRS, to pay no state taxes, no federal taxes.
I mean, if he does that, that'd be the greatest thing he ever did for America or whatever. I don't even know if that's feasible or whatever to do it. But if he did it, then that would be the greatest thing he ever did. You know what I'm saying, or
Man,
whatever. Because
the reason he want to do that because the IRS been on his ass for the last 40 years.
I mean, I get it. I don't care what his reasons are for it. I'm just saying if he do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard him say something about with the whole IRS thing or something about they trying to reset your thing wherever you reset everybody's whatever where basically it'll kind of like
Wipe
I
it,
guess cut
wipe,
most of your
wipe.
credit, wipe you all your
Yeah,
credit out. So they trying to
yeah,
reset everybody's thing where basically everybody start with like a clean credit score or whatever. So
right.
I don't even know if none of this stuff is feasible that Trump say he's trying to do or not trying to do. And most of it, like you said, is probably to save his own self. But it is what it is, man. But anyway, man, listen, everybody. This is our last show of the season. We Easter weekend, we're gonna be having a great. We're gonna have all new episodes. 910 Sports, 95 South TV. Probably more likely to break down. Well, breakdown is something totally different. But the 95 South and 95 South 91 910 Sports, brand new show, brand new intro. We're gonna be with 810 Studios. So we're gonna be back on Roku. We're gonna be back on Apple TV. So you're gonna see us any and everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be really jumping off on different radio platforms. So we're gonna be a little bit everywhere, y'all. So y'all thought we was doing it. Now we really gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing it again. You know what I'm saying? We're working on another situation. I don't like to really talk about other stuff anymore unless until the ink is dry. But we got another platform that we're gonna be on also soon, right behind that, whatever. But we'll speak on that more probably around the time that we start the other episode or y'all start seeing postings of what we're doing, on our Facebook and Instagrams and TikToks and all that stuff. But I do want to say this to everybody out there who's always rocked and rolled with us. I shout out a few people. I shout out people like Jonathan Coleman. I shout out my folks out there back home in Southern Pines at Blends barbershop. Every time I go in there, they show me mad love up in there. You know what I'm saying? I shout out different people like Michael Quick, who he'll jump in on us. I shout out the CV Sports guys, Eric and Chris, who always been supportive of us. So I shout out
Right.
different people like that that's always showed us mad love. Shout out Tiffany Real, you know what I'm saying, who gave us an opportunity. Shout out independent chicks that we used to be with at one time. So I just want to give different people love who supported us or helped us grow as a brand and continue to help. Shout out to Jasper, man.
He
Jasper,
did
he the
beast.
man. He that guy.
He
That's
did
all
beast.
I'm gonna say. He that guy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta tell you something later too. Man, I'm gonna make you laugh later. There's something I'm gonna tell you something offline or whatever. Somebody just told me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, man. Anybody you want to shout out before we get out for this last show?
Man, just shout out to all the major supporters, man. Shout out to the Spirit PR firm, man. And man, shout out to all the people that support other people. Cause support costs nothing, man. Like I definitely appreciate you. I rock with you. And if there's anything that we can ever do, man, we just a phone call away. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to all of you, and just keep moving. let's build together, let's grow together, and man, let's really change the narrative on a lot of things that's going on in the world.
Yeah. All right, yo. We out of here. Shout out Zeno FM who always gave us showed us love with this radio stuff. VGN, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no ill will against nobody. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do is business. So I still shout out Kimmy and Senior and everybody, whoever, you know what I'm saying? I hope nobody takes no ill will as far as what we do or whatever go or take this any kind of way. But everything we do is strictly business. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. It's never personal. You know what I mean? I know I'm trying to sound like doggone Nino Brown, but it is what it is, man. But anyway, we out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm
All
gonna take care of this cold I got a little bit, man. But we out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Love
peace,
everybody. Peace one.
peace, peace.
Brown skinned girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind.